whatever I say is exactly what my team would say. I like to be in charge. I like to direct. I like to guide. I like to coach. I like to mentor. Sometimes they just need a kick in the pants.
You're so badass. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. It's Hani. I'm with Erica today. Let you introduce yourself, young lady. Who are you? What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Erica Brugel. Where am I from? I'm from originally Oshawa, Ontario, the Dirty Schwa.
I don't think anybody calls it that shit anymore, buddy.
My childhood.
Yeah.
And who am I? I am furiously driven, hardworking, loud, and I would say an opinionated person. I make sure to make my voice heard because I think it's important.
Yeah, it is. And you're heard. Trust me.
And I'm kind.
You're heard.
Thanks so much.
Well, what was it you were saying
Sometimes
earlier?
to a fault, maybe?
What were you saying earlier? You said, introduce yourself like this. It's Hani on site. What'd you say?
No, Hani on location.
Okay, girl. You set me up. But seriously, though, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your journey. Tell me about your background. Tell me something that I never knew. Like, if I was on the other side of this camera, like, who is Erica?
Yeah. First of all, we're very close, so she knows a lot about me, but we're going to divulge it all to you.
Yeah, of course.
I originally did not start in hospitality. I got into hospitality way later in life. Probably like I was in my mid-20s, early 20s when I got into hospitality. I dodged the fast food scene, which I'm thankful for.
I didn't get that luxury.
You didn't do that? No. And I actually started in retail, and I started in retail management, not by choice. I started in part-time positions, and then just they kept asking me to do stuff, and I was like, okay. And then they're like, you're a manager, and I was like, okay. And my journey into hospitality actually just became about because I wanted to be close to my friends. And at the time, we all lived in Toronto together, and they all got jobs in Banff, Alberta.
Yeah.
And I felt left out. And I was like, I'm going to leave this city, and I'm going to go with my friends to Banff, Alberta, and I'm going to work at the Fairmont Banff Springs with them, and I'm going to get in the hospitality game. And I was a banquet server, carried the giant ovals around with 12 plates on it, and laid it down, and bam, bam, bam. And I kind of just fell in love with hospitality from a different side than I had been used to before. I think that my original kind of like instant hospitality was very much given to me by my parents.
Yeah.
And I just didn't realize that that was the path I was supposed to go at the time. But yeah, my hospitality started in banquets, really in Banff, Alberta at the Fairmont Banff Springs.
Yeah. So that was like your intro.
That was really my intro. And it was just such a fun environment. And it was such a team aspect environment where it felt like you bonded together.
Yeah.
Because of the challenges that hospitality presents in front of you on a daily basis, that you just start to build bonds with these people that you didn't know that you could in a work environment. And I think that really is, kind of the catalyst for me going further with hospitality than what I originally had anticipated.
Yeah.
My original thing was like, I'm going to go to Banff, I'm going to work for 6 months, I'm going to have a lot of fun, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to go back into retail management.
Yes.
High-end retail management is where I left. And that just wasn't the outcome.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, like you said, I took the opposite route and did the fast food thing and learned like the basics of the health part of it, right? So and then
flipping burgers, baby.
Flipping burgers. Tell me about some of those challenges that came along when you went to Banff. Like growing up, you were trying to like discover yourself, figure things out, and so like, what were some of those challenges that came with it?
I think because I come from customer service management,
Mm-hmm.
and when I went into hospitality in Banff, there was really it was really an adjustment because I was no longer in a management position.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the bottom of the totem pole.
Mhm.
And as I said before, I'm a pretty loud, opinionated person who, I don't want to say control the situation.
Just be authentic and real. Say it like it is. If you lying, we go see it. We go see it.
No. I like to be in charge. I like to direct. I like to guide. I like to coach. I like to mentor. I like to develop people. I like to express my opinions on how things should be. And when I went into hospitality, I was at the bottom of the barrel after coming from a place where I was the leader in charge.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an adjustment to, first of all, not have a say in how things go and not have the ability to change the situation or adapt the situation to the way that I maybe thought was the right way.
Yeah.
But I do think that it was good for me to maybe take a breath of fresh air and knock a little bit of the leader out of me
Mhm.
to really learn the basis of what hospitality means.
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And
Still hard.
You know what's weird though? You know what's weird? You got weird for a second.
I got weird?
Yeah, you got weird for a second. Because you know how I know? Because when you went to go describe yourself as control, as outspoken, as loud, like I don't want to say like all females, but the majority of female leaders don't get weird about that. So like take it. You are who you are. Own it. Be
No,
you.
I'm not weird about that. I think it's great that there's, first of all, more and more female leadership coming into hospitality where it was predominantly a male dominated world prior. Like I think it's great that that is growing drastically. But at the time I was in a very new environment that I was not used to.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily have the right answers, even though I thought so. And I'm glad that I maybe just shut up for a little bit and learn the basis before I started giving my opinion.
I love that.
Because I think it's important for you. I mean, it's important for you to express your opinion. At times, it's also important for you to shut up and listen and take in and learn and really divulge that information and put it then into action. And if I had come in guns a-blazing, like, I've been a manager before in a totally different realm, I don't think that I would have gotten to where I am today, because I think it takes somebody their ability to step back and be like, it's time for me to learn.
Yeah.
And recognize that.
All right. That brings me to my next question.
Uh-oh.
What describe your leadership style to me? Like if I didn't know you and I'm brand new to the scene, what is your leadership style?
I feel like,
how do you influence your team every day?
I feel like the good thing about my leadership style is that whatever I say is exactly what my team would say.
Okay.
And I think that's important.
Like mirroring that.
I think it's important. I think that it's important that your team knows your leadership style, and they're like, whatever I'm going to say to this camera or to you or to whoever right now about my leadership style, my team, the team that I have around me, the people I work with would say the exact same thing.
Okay.
I'm very direct. I try to make it as clear and concise as possibly could be. Because I want whoever I'm having a leadership conversation with, a mentor conversationship. Whoa.
That was weird. I loved it.
A mentor conversations with, that it's like black and white. They understand what's expected of them. They understand what the needs are. They understand what they have to work on. That there's not a gray area where they're like, I don't know where I stand. I don't know what's expected. I don't know what's needed of me. I think it's really important for leaders to be very clear of what the expectation is, what the accountability is, because it allows that person to grow, develop, go further. I call it fluff.
Okay.
When we sugarcoat things, when we make a lot of analogies, when we do these kinds of things, it muddies the water. It makes it unclear of what the expectation is or what you want them to do. And I think that the best way is to make it clear for them and fully transparent on the outcome that you're looking for or, the development that you want from them. It gives a clear path and a clear vision for them to walk out of that room and be like, I know what's expected of me. I know what I need to do to get to the next step. I know what not to do because I, maybe made some errors, or I know now, like, these are the things that I need to do to prevent those errors from happening. And I think it's important.
That's powerful. Okay.
Mhm.
What are the training processes that are given to these folks that are coming into your space to set them up for success?
Depends on what area, but
Okay. Just pick a general area.
Because the building is obviously multifaceted and there's lots of different areas, but we have a pretty regimented training for front of house. It really is like a step-by-step process. So it's kind of like a shift-by-shift thing. So, shift 1, you do these things. Shift 2, you do these things. Shift 3, you do these things. There also is, testing, practical testing. We realized that a long time ago, we were putting these people out into the world and we had only given them a written test and they maybe had passed the written test when it came to serving. And then we were just setting them free to the guests. And we were like, how do we know what is really happening? And so we started to take a really hard look at what the next step should be in training of past that just written test. And Cassandra, who is the senior restaurant manager at the Cambridge Mill, developed a really amazing practical test. So an actual you serve the managers, you talk about the food, you do a wine service, you do all these things to ensure that those people have taken in the training that has actually been given to them. And if it's okay, it's fine. If they haven't, it just means that we need to spend a little more time with them. Maybe we need to go a little more in depth into menu terminology, or we need to go a little more in depth into a proper wine service or whatever that may be. But yeah, I think it's first of all, it has to be really hands-on. It has to be hands-on.
Okay. And do you find it not everybody trains at the same level? So do you have are you good with adapting with change?
Yeah. I mean, I think we can all attribute to the fact that people learn in different ways. Some are practical, actual hands-on doing, some are reading, some are, writing it out. All of those things are considered when we're training somebody. And I think that we're pretty adaptable in the fact that if somebody isn't there yet, we are working with them on how to get them there. So okay, you're not really strong in this area. You feel less confident in the menu allergies, the menu ingredients, whatever that may be. Okay, we're going to very pinpoint that area to you to really hone in on that specific thing. Which I think is important.
It is, though.
Because not everybody learns in the same way.
No.
And some people just need an extra 2 shifts, or sometimes they just need a kick in the pants. It's
what?
We're not.
What do you mean kick in the pants? What is this terminology?
A kick in the pants is hey, babe, we're not at Denny's. We have high expectations of the staff.
Denny's, by the way. No disrespect to Denny's.
Moons over my hammy. But we have high expectations, and sometimes people just need a kick in the pants to be you have to meet these expectations to work here.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. And I think that other places should also adapt to that. That's this is our ceiling.
Yeah.
You're not here yet. you need to come up here.
Yeah, let's meet somewhere.
That's being clear. That's being clear and concise.
Yeah. And definitely the communication aspect of it as well. Like as a leader, knowing like that without communication, you don't have nothing. You don't have shit.
Oh my God. Communication is like one of the most important things in hospitality.
I've seen so many,
if not like the most important thing.
Yeah. But I've seen so many like leaders not like they can have all these great aspects and not know how to communicate. And like they expect you to be in here.
Communication is a hard thing.
Yeah.
Really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's a tricky thing.
Yeah.
Because
it's a life skill.
You know why? Because everybody does it differently. And that's what makes it so challenging is that everybody does it differently. It's like, how do I adapt to these people, but still keep my communication real to me?
Yeah.
And also keeping it organized. It's a whole world of problems.
Do you have like your own personal assistant that helps you stay organized every day? Like now, I just randomly came up with that because
not designated. Right? Not designated. No,
you just got
no. I have a community
of folks.
Really strong team.
Yeah.
That helps me a lot.
Yeah.
You know, Cassandra, the senior restaurant manager at the Mill, is a massive help when it comes to navigating, you know, meetings and things like that, and you know, distribution of information to people. Like a massive help in that area. But I don't have a specific assistant. I'd love one, but
are you looking for one?
No,
I might have a job opening.
No, do you? Yeah.
I would be a nightmare to you if I had to organize your life. I'd be like, you gotta be here at this time. You gotta do this. I would be so hard on you.
I feel like I have to agree with that.
Yeah. You'd be like, I'm in. Okay, let's just keep this light a little bit and not be strict. Tell me about some guest experiences that you have brought forward or you've encouraged from staff members and how to create that.
Yeah. I feel like guest experience is why we do what we do.
Yeah.
I don't think that back of house gets to see the outcome of it as much as obviously front of house.
And what are back of house for people that don't know? Like back of house, front of house?
All the chefs, the dishwashers, the people that make the building run.
Shout out to the receivers out there.
The receivers, the dishwashers, the plate polishers, everybody who literally makes the building run. Like without those people, there's no point of anything happening. But back house doesn't get to see the outcome or doesn't get to enjoy that feeling the way that front of house does.
Yeah.
But I think the number one thing that I try to instill into the team that I work with is that we really want to make every guest experience as unique to them as we possibly can within the realm of what we're capable of doing.
Yeah.
And that means listening. It means observing body language. It means being really intuitive into what the guests are saying. And it means being very active in service. And when I think of active in service, it's that you are present, you are in it, you are like, you have essentially goggles on, binoculars, looking for things to do to make those experiences special.
Yes.
So whether it's you're walking by a table and you hear them talking about the soup they had at their wedding a year ago, and you're like, hey, I clocked that. And I know that Chef Robin in events right now has that same soup. Guess what? I'm going to run downstairs. I'm going to get 2 bowls of soup and I'm going to surprise them for their anniversary. Or hearing that they love our hot sauce. They're like, oh my God, this hot sauce is so amazing with these oysters. And being like, I'm going to send them home with a quarter deli of hot sauce.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
Just because it makes it special and unique to just them. And I encourage the staff to look for those things. And if we give 2 bowls of soup away and we give a hot sauce away a night, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like that. Like in the grand scheme of things, they're going to go home and they're going to say, oh my God, those people literally, I don't know how they knew that I was talking about that soup or how they knew that maybe I told the server that I love that hot sauce and they thought to send me home with a bit of that hot sauce to make me feel special.
Wait, that brings me to that time. We went for your birthday, but I'm not going to say names of the restaurant we went to because I don't think I want to right now because it would be a surprise for down the line. But remember the time, like, the server overheard. I think it was like your 39th or 40th birthday. We went out for a bunch of us, whatever. And I think one of us said something, and the server heard us. Like, we didn't know how they heard us.
Oh yeah.
So like that kind of experience, I felt so good at that time.
And that really takes, I think, time in a role and tenure of like working in restaurants to really develop that skill of like, I think in service, my number one like biggest skill set is being observant. It honestly is.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean being observant? Like,
being
in what
observant.
way? Like just watching people?
Literally. I'm not even kidding.
You're a people watcher.
Watching, body language is huge. Walking by and listening to the conversations you're passing.
Yeah. There's
so many times that I've been able personally in my career to make special experiences out of just being observant and listening.
Okay.
Like that is huge, especially in a manager role, because you're not necessarily serving each table like the servers are, obviously. So as a manager, just being able to walk by, hear, see, even if it's a service recovery, like how many service recoveries I have responded to only because of body language, of how they respond, like their physical being of being like, they're not happy, and going over and being like, hey, is everything okay? Like, I want to make sure you're enjoying your experience.
Yeah.
Just from the way they move. People really, I think, forget about that. Yeah. And it's important. It's huge.
Sweet. Well, I don't think I even touched base on this. I want to go backwards a little bit. Like, it seems like you know so much about like service recovery, serving people, listening. Can you rewind a little bit and just like tell me about your role before you got to GM? Like, were you a restaurant manager? Were you like a server? Like, I know that your Banff experiences led you this way, but you didn't really touch on like how you got to here.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Apologies.
ADHD. I know. I have it. I was like rushing.
Mine's always on a high.
I was rushing to your story.
Journey. Yeah. Do you want my journey from Pearl?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
What a great,
not back further.
A great company.
Not back further.
Yeah.
Okay. When I originally started at Pearl at the Cambridge Mill, I started as a concierge. And to this day, my favorite job, hands down, ever in existence, even overfeeding baby animals by bottle. Tigers, lions, bears. Favorite job ever.
Yeah.
You were the hero. You were like the glory, like praise, gratitude, all of the things. Essentially what I did was I chased the brides and grooms and couples and people around the property, ensuring that they had the best day of their entire lives.
Yeah.
That meant like if we were over at the park taking photos and the bride was like, oh, my shoes, oh, these hurt. I would clock that and I'd run back to the mill and I would grab her flip-flops out of her bag and I'd run them back over and be like, I brought your flip-flops because I heard that your feet were hurting. And she'd be like, how did you know? And I learned really I think I really learned as a concierge to be observant and listen.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's where I really started to hone that skill.
Yeah.
Because I was with these two people all day long and I was just listening for things to try to make their experience special or try to make their day just easier or better or more enjoyable. Without me having to ask them or them having to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
I never wanted them to ask me for something. There's a book. I don't remember the name of it.
Well, you can't just be like, there's a book.
I believe it's called In Service. It's about the book is written by the first ever female server at 11 Madison Park. And she said something, and I'm probably going to butcher it.
Yeah.
But our greatest skill in hospitality is the ability to anticipate desire.
Okay.
Without being asked. And I have lived by that forever. I think that the ability to anticipate what the guest needs before they even know they need it is such a huge component of making a guest experience special and memorable and felt taken care of without having to ask for it.
Yeah.
Like them just being like, wow, how did you know that? How did you know that I needed that? And it's like, I've been paying attention.
Yeah.
I've been watching. I've been listening. I've been observing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm trailing off. So sorry.
Concierge.
Concierge.
What's next?
From concierge, I left for 2 months.
Where'd you go?
Ottawa.
Why?
For a boy. Worst.
So,
and I worked at the keg, and the keg just great
don't say
training.
anything bad about the keg.
Amazing training.
Yeah.
Wasn't my style.
Yeah.
That's all. Wasn't my style.
So you moved for a boy. You went to go live this happily, lovely life.
In Ottawa. Road system's terrible.
You're getting canceled.
Hate that.
After this, for sure. You're getting canceled.
I'm sorry. The road system in Ottawa is awful.
Okay.
City grew, the roads did not. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. So you moved for a boy. You hated the space. You didn't like working there at the keg.
I didn't like working for the keg. It wasn't my style. Didn't like my relationship at the time.
Okay.
And I decided to reach out back to Pearl.
Yeah.
I actually saw an ad online for a restaurant manager at Spencer's.
Okay.
And I applied to it, and I wanted to reach out to my previous managers because I was like, Spencer's is obviously going to reach out to the Cambridge Mill and be like, who's Erica? What does she do? How is she? So I reached out and said, hey, just so you're aware, I've reapplied. Don't think it's weird. I want to come back. I miss Pearl.
Yeah.
And I think there's quite a lot of people out there that have left Pearl and come back and been like, once you experience Pearl hospitality, the grass is not greener. Let's just say that. And they said, no problem.
Yeah.
We got a job for you. No matter where, we'll figure it out. Right. I said, that's great. And I got a phone call from the COO at the time, and she said, where do you want to be? Do you want to be at Spencer's? Yeah. Or do you want to be at Cambridge Mill? And I said, well, honestly, like I'll take wherever you'll take me, I'll go. Okay. And I ended up back at Cambridge Mill as the restaurant manager.
Slow down here. You're going so fast.
I'm sorry. You told me to go fast.
I need you to take a deep breath. Woosah with me for a minute. Woosah. So we're going to take 5. We're going to take 5.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go back to how you hated Ottawa. You hated your relationship. Hate's a strong word, though.
I realized that I need to depart that era of my life.
Okay, so we closed the door on that. Yep. You applied at Spencer's, reached out to some big people in Pearl, and was like...
And they luckily offered me a promotion.
Okay. How do you leave and get a promotion?
I don't know, it happened, but it was great. It worked out well. I mean, I was a pretty solid employee while I was there. And like, I was reliable and I believed in the vision. So I think that when I reached out, they're like, yes, come back. Yeah. They gave me the restaurant manager role. And I did that for a while, and it was super challenging because I dealt with a lot of people that had been in the industry for a very, very long time and had a lot of tenure at the mill. And I was much younger than them. And they didn't necessarily want to listen to me or follow the direction or follow the guidance or coaching. But I think it made me a stronger manager going through that. And then I switched from restaurant manager at the mill, and I went to event managing, and I managed in events, and I managed that whole world for a while. And that's a whole other can of worms when it comes to running the events side of things. And it was great, and it gave me a really good base for like how the building runs as a whole, which I think was really solid and really important.
You felt like if you were in restaurant, you were just focused on restaurant. Now you're stepping back and you're seeing like an event side of it.
Yeah, and I think that when I came back to the mill in a manager role, I knew that like my end goal was to get to general manager. Like that was always my end goal, and I wanted to know the building inside and out to be able to get to the general manager role, to be able to know what I should be doing. Because as the GM, you have to know all of the worlds, whether it's events, whether it's restaurant, whether it's back of house, whether it's the sales office, whether it's like, you have to know it all. So I took the event manager role because I wanted to know that side of things. And it was great. And I spent a lot of late nights and a lot of long hours. And then I came back to restaurant as a restaurant manager. And I did that for a little bit longer before being offered opportunity to go to another location, our farm location, and be the property manager there. So then I was essentially the general manager of the farm and managed that for a season before being offered senior restaurant manager at the Cambridge Mill. And I did that for a year. And then I went to assistant general manager, where I really started to hone what being a GM is, and seeing kind of like that day-to-day life in small like increments before landing at GM. And I really truly believe that like I needed to go on that journey. For those that don't know, I've been with the Cambridge Mill for 9 years. And I think it was important to take every opportunity that was presented because I knew that the end goal was to get to general manager, and I wanted to know everything that I could, or that was given to me, to be able to be hopefully well-rounded, and have an idea of how each of these outlets within one building work and operate.
Cool. Wow. Cool. You were super serious. That's a lot. Like 9 years. That's a lot. That's a lot of time.
I take my journey seriously.
Yeah.
I take my career seriously.
Yeah.
For those that know me well, know that it pretty much engulfs my entire life. I live and breathe work, and I like it. It's not something that like I have animosity towards or that I am, resentful for. I generally love going to work.
Okay.
And I think it's important that people feel that way. I know for my kind of journey that I spend a lot of time at work, and that if it's not enjoyable, what is the point? Why am I going? Because yes, money's great. Yes, we need it to live. T-bones are expensive.
Yeah.
But I think that you have to enjoy what you do.
Yeah. And
Because you spend a lot of your time there.
like
I mean,
you wake up
normal
every day
people spend 40
happy.
hours a week.
So you wake up every day happy to be in your field.
No.
How many people are you in charge of at work? I never touched on that.
Direct. Or like in the building.
In the building. Let's just say building and then we'll go direct. Second question.
There's about 120 to 140 staff at any given time.
Okay. Direct.
Yes.
Direct. Which?
Direct? Oh God, no. Sorry. Direct. 6?
6? Oh, because like you look at department heads, right?
Yeah.
That's why. Okay, well, that makes sense. So 120 and every day you're in contact with 6. Or are you in contact with 120 every day?
I'm in contact with a lot of people every day.
That's a lot.
But not like direct, like, I'm coaching and mentoring these people.
Yeah.
All 140. Oh my God, I would die.
Like that's a lot of talking.
There's a lot of talking in a day.
Okay.
Especially on a Sunday.
Can you walk me in a day, like an every day in your day, like in your shoes? Like you wake up, it's a Tuesday.
A Tuesday.
Sure.
Each day differs, first of all. Like each day's different.
I'll ask you what a Tuesday looks like opposed to a Saturday.
Sure. A Tuesday is primarily, I would say, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are very admin focused. So very administrative, a lot of meetings, a lot of on my keyboard at work.
What are you meeting about? Like, what are you meeting about? Like, what the
everything.
But like, if I didn't know what you're meeting about,
we're meeting about progression.
Okay.
How we can get better, new implementation of, procedures, processes, features, incentives, growing the business, all of those things. I have a 10-day meeting every week where we discuss all of the upcoming events for the week. We want to go through them. We want to make sure that everything is laid out, that we're all clear and concise on exactly what those events are to look like, what they're going to happen, like the things that they want to happen, how we're going to do them. Do we need X, Y, and Z to be able to, do that task that they want us to do?
Yeah.
I meet about marketing, about how we're going to promote the mill, how we're going to increase guest flow, how we're going to increase our presence. I meet about all kinds of things. I have one-on-one meetings with my direct managers to help them, grow and develop, to help them grow and develop their staff, help with challenges that they're going through, whether it's staffing challenges or, getting, the right people in the right places, like all of those things.
That's intense, but yes, like you're growing all the time.
I like, in my mind, there's my biggest challenge and my biggest reward is the people. And I don't mean like the people, I mean like the team, like my team. I mean my team. Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
I think that the people is the most challenging part of the job, but also like the most rewarding part of the job. Um, Growth, development, and being a mentor takes a lot of energy and a lot of time, and a lot of dedication to that. And that can be exhausting. It can be mentally draining. Um, and when you put that time, that effort, that energy into those people, and you start to see them change and they start taking on more and they start growing and they start with like this piece of the pie. And then all of a sudden you're working with them and then they're taking like half the pie and they're getting towards the full pie. And you're like, this person's ready for the next step. And I got to be part of their journey and help push them further into their roles and
their own
their
journey.
path.
Yeah.
It's the most rewarding thing, but it's also the hardest thing. It takes a lot of energy.
Well, it seems like you're a great mentor. It seems like you cut out your.
I think I have my days.
Yeah.
I think there's days where I lack, but I think that's natural for everybody.
I think that firecracker you is the best kind of you.
Me?
Yeah, nobody ever. No, not a lot of people experience it, but when you do, it's just like
When
it hits my soul. But I like watching it from afar. I like to see the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get them.
Boom.
You shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I love when people don't think you're in the room, but you're always in the room. That listening bullshit you were talking about, that I'm always goddamn listening. So I'm always on,
Honestly, I strongly believe one of the strongest skills is being observant and listening. 100%.
Wonderful. Now that you're observing, tell me about some trends going on in hospitality right now that you guys are trying to keep up with. What's the newest, coolest thing? And if you say burrata, I'm going to be ill.
Let's be real. It's always burrata. Always burrata.
Like in general, whether it's systems or food trends, whatever. Like, I don't know. Like renovations, I don't know. New plateware, I don't know. Like, there's so much. Like, what is the new trend? Like, you would know. You're pretty cool. You're on TikTok these days. I'm too old.
I only post my dog on TikTok. No, I don't necessarily agree with trends.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't. I think that when you chase trends or you follow trends, you're not being authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that the mill and pro hospitality as a whole is really great at being authentically themselves. And I think that's why we have such a strong like guest base that like follow us, and that like honestly the majority of people that come to the mill are like, I've been to Spencer's, I've been to the Pearl Hotel, I've been to Allura, I've been to Ancaster, I've been to, Bordeaux's. Like, Pearl people are Pearl people. And I think it's because we're authentically us and we don't necessarily follow trends. And I think that it's important to do what you do really, really, really fucking well. And that doesn't mean that like you see things on fire table side and that you're like, we need to do that because it's on TikTok. But I mean, I think in events we see a lot more trends than we necessarily do in restaurant, because in restaurant we're determining the journey. Like, we're presenting the food, we're presenting the service. Like, it's our decision. Whereas when it comes to events, it's those couples coming in, it's their vision. And that's great. And I love that because we get to really flex our adaptive muscle, so to say, when it comes to like, okay, well, we historically have not done champagne towers. Now it's like all over Pinterest. So like, how are we going to do champagne towers? And we get to flex that muscle of being adaptive and like being like, okay, how do we do this? How do we make it work? How do we make it work with service? How do we make it flow correctly? Like, how do we make it not disrupt like their day, but make it integrated? And we get to like start to like really step outside the normal event box, so to say. So I think that honestly, like, the people bring the trends to us a lot when it comes to event side of things. But listen, burrata is always the trend. I can't. I'm sorry, people love it. It's
Okay,
just
I
true.
don't mind.
It's that. It is.
Honestly, if you put one in front of me, I'll eat it. Like I don't mind. Like
Burrata's great, and it has its place. It has its place forever. But I think that the trend 4 years ago and now is burrata a bunch of different ways. Let's be real. Let's be real.
But tell me some things that or you, as in the Cambridge Mill, how they give back to your community. Like what community incentives or community things you guys do yearly or I don't know, quarterly.
Yeah, for sure. I think being part of the community is such an important thing. Like, I think it's really, really the foundation for like why we're so well received within the community. Um, we do a few different like full on initiatives to try to integrate ourselves into the community and give back and make sure that we are being present. And I think that it's important. One we do is we always have a staff party every summer at our farm location. And we bring all the staff out, and it's really kind of the party. I started it many moons ago, like when I was in my early days. And it's continued on, which I think is really great because Pearl holds a party, a Christmas party or holiday party for the employees. And it's lovely because we all get together from every property and we get to enjoy each other, and that's great. But I wanted to do something for the staff where it integrated their families, because our staff spends so much time away from their families at major milestone moments, or not milestone moments, but major events. Like, they spend, Christmas Eve tending to our guests and giving back to our guests and making sure the guest experience is lovely. Thanksgiving, Easter, all of those major holidays, they're away from their families. So my original kind of thought behind the summer party at the farm was that I wanted our people that take care of the people that come to us to be able to spend a lovely day bringing their families in and us getting to meet them. And saying thank you for, lending your mom every Easter to us.
Wait, slow down. It sounds like a rental place. Wait, rephrase that again, please.
But giving, like, letting your, like giving your mom,
Letting your family be our family in a way.
letting your family give their time away from you to us on major holidays, because that's what happens in reality. And so it became a lovely thing where like we got to meet all of our staff's kids and, husbands and wives and partners and everybody. And when we did that, we really wanted to make sure that not only were we doing that for our staff, but that we were doing something to give back to the community. So we started a program for that party where the management team collected prizes from like our vendors and people that we work with, and really great prizes, like whether it's tickets to the Leaf game or tickets to the Raptors or going to a concert or, you know, getting donations from a Laura Mill. Thank you so much. Of like a spa day or whatever that may be. And they were given tickets, but each ticket represented a canned good. So because the prizes were so great, the staff came out in like full force, and we had like a truck of canned goods that we dropped off at Cambridge Food Bank. So every year for the last 6 years, we've done that, and we donate, you know, mass amounts of canned goods every August to the Cambridge Food Bank. So I think that that's one area where we really kind of give back. The other is we work very closely with the Bridges community that's, you know, not far from the mill, of doing a holiday dinner for people in need that necessarily don't get to have a holiday dinner, and that would, you know, normally go to a food bank or something like that to get their holiday dinner. Um, and we host it at the mill in one of our event rooms. And we have about, you know, anywhere from like 60 to 100 people come. And on, you know, the day before Christmas Eve or 2 days before Christmas Eve, it usually happens. And we have about 100 people that don't necessarily get to have a nice Christmas dinner come and enjoy in a beautiful room, in a beautiful space. We also do Bubbles for Bridges, or we call it something different now, but essentially, you know, you come into the mill for during the month of December, and if you bring hats, mitts, socks, a scarf, um, you get a glass of bubbles for that donation, and then that is given out at the food bank to the people who come.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. I want to say thank you for that. That's huge. Not a lot of people do that. No.
You're right, and I think that it's important to realize that there's people out there that are, you know, don't have as much as us and don't get to experience the, you know, the lovely dinners at the mill, or just, you know, that whole kind of side of life.
Yeah.
That it's important that we do something to give back in that way.
That's powerful, man. Thank you. That's huge. Yeah. Take the time
Yeah.
to get back a little bit. Like I love that. That's so fulfilling.
It's
Your job's pretty.
it is fulfilling.
Your job seems pretty cool. I'd be you for a day. Not no like, not no like killer vibes. Not like wear your skin or anything. That's odd.
Oh,
Why did I say that?
Monster Egg.
Why did you say that?
You said
you,
it first. You said
you made me
it's
watch this
skin.
thing. I've never wanted to watch it. I felt like I just needed to know what happened. I was locked in. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
No.
But yeah, no, thank you
I think
for
it's
doing your part. Yeah.
Yeah. And
How are you with change? How are you with change and the changing with the times
that's like
and the younger folk and like
the young folk?
yeah.
No cap.
Your nephews taught you that, did they?
The younger folk. Yeah. I have,
Like, are you cool at work? Like,
depends on who you ask. I don't know. I think that I don't know if I'm necessarily cool. I think that I'm fun. I think I can be fun, and I think I can be serious. It depends on what the situation is presenting, of what hat I have to wear. But I think it can be fun. I think it can be cheeky. And I try to make it an environment for people that they want to come to, because I think it's important. That doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, if I want to make it an environment for people to come to that's fun, that I'm not still going to hold them accountable, and that I'm not still going to give them feedback. I think that there's a lot of, I've worked at a lot of places in my life. I'm old. Uh, but feedback wasn't a thing. It was like, managers like said these things behind staff's back and was like, oh, like they're not performing, or, they don't do this, or, it's so frustrating that they, can't do that or whatever. But they never stopped to tell the person.
Yeah.
And I think that feedback is like such an important part of people's development. Just because like, if they don't know, how are if they don't know, they don't know. And like, how are they to move past that?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like, I mean, I know for myself personally that like you can't necessarily see things in yourself or see things that you're doing and be like, that's bad, or like that needs to be worked on, or I shouldn't do it that way. And so if there isn't feedback given, then how are they to progress? Like, and a lot of people are afraid to give feedback. And so, yes, it's a fun environment. Yes, I try to make it welcoming, as welcoming can be. When it needs to be serious, it is.
Yeah.
And when feedbacks needs to be given, it's given.
It's given.
It is. And it's given in a very clear way.
And I believe you on that one, but
I try to anyways.
let me take it a step further. What was a scenario you were put in and you just had to like serious up? Like, do you feel comfortable sharing that? No. Okay, we'll skip that one.
No, I'm just trying to think of
what
like
scenario you had to.
Well, a pipe burst in the kitchen last week.
Not to be the fun guy in the room. Like, what's a scenario that happened to you?
Let's talk about Sunday, Thanksgiving. Ready? We had a big buffet brunch during the day. And then we have 1 hour to switch to buffet dinner, which takes a lot because we have to tear everything down, reset everything, switch out all the brunch items into dinner items. And it's organized mayhem, if you will, of people just doing all the jobs at all the times. And it's good that they all know what they're supposed to be doing, but there's a lot of people moving, a lot of people doing things, which can be, a lot. And the CDC came to me and he said, a pipe burst in the kitchen. Or what? Maybe it wasn't Kyle. Sorry. Someone else came to me and said, Erica, you're needed in the kitchen. A pipe just burst in the restaurant kitchen. And I said, oh no. I don't think I said, oh no, but I said more than that.
Okay.
And I went into the kitchen and there was water hitting the ceiling, flowing everywhere. There was a small lake in the kitchen that was slowly progressing, like it was going to go into the dining room or out into the bar area. And we had 20 minutes until we were opening for dinner service. And that's when I had to put on Erica's serious voice and tell everyone, like, you need to quiet down. It's time to shh. I need to fix this because there was a lot of talking, a lot of this, a lot of that.
You said there's a lot of moving parts for sure.
And I need everybody to just for a minute.
I can just see you being a referee, like, shh, red flag over here.
It was like, be quiet right now, everybody, because this situation is serious, and like I need to talk to the person on the phone to figure out how to stop, gallons of water into pouring into the kitchen.
Pouring to the dining room or to the kitchen?
Into the kitchen and then progressing slowly into the dining room.
Nightmare.
Which luckily we were able to stop that so we could go into dinner service. But there's times when you have to, kick into gear when it's like, okay, everybody, I need everybody to and we need to focus on this thing right now. And I need everyone to just follow me for just 1 minute or 2 minutes because we need to address this. And there's too many voices sometimes. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be me. Sometimes Cass steps into that role, or sometimes my, chef de cuisine Kyle steps into that role where he's like, okay, everybody, let's go. Or like, everybody needs to listen right now. Like, this is a big problem. We need to solve it together. But like, I need everybody to focus right now and go for whatever the situation is at that time. And like, we all need to be centered into that. Yeah. And sometimes it takes somebody to put their hat on and be like, I'm in charge right now.
Good. That's good that you have many pillars around you. It seems like a support system, a community of folks, whether it's your work.
There's a really solid team at the mill. I think it's a lot of tenure of growing up in the mill and progressing through that makes really great people. And I think that the development and the mentorship and the coaching and the one-on-ones and the meetings and all of those things has attributed to taking people from a host position and moving them through the ranks to senior restaurant manager or a chef de cuisine or a event manager. Like our event manager started as a 15-year-old kid in support, and he's now 28 and the event manager, and he has progressed through all of the roles. So I think that that's a huge
It's amazing that
a huge accolade for the mill, for the Cambridge, that the people that come there, they stay. And
it's not like a high turnover rate, you're saying.
there is in certain areas, but I think that's natural for a lot of restaurants that we might see a lot of dishwashers come through, or events is a prime example of where we see a lot of event servers come through because they're college based. A lot of the event servers are in university or college, so they'll come for this season and then they'll go off to college, and some come back and some stay. So we see some change there, but for the most part, the really stable positions in the building are people who've been there for a really long time and grown.
Amazing. Okay. Comes to this question I always ask everyone. If you can talk to, let's say, younger Erica, right? I'm talking junior you, just thinking about what you want to be, what's the advice you'd give that little girl?
A lot. No, just kidding.
Go ahead.
I'm
waiting. I'm ready.
I would say, because I wasn't always strong. I think I'm pretty strong now. I had a really strong mother, so I think it got implemented into me, but it came out later in life. Be really strong, be extremely driven, and go for what you want. And let your voice be heard. Do not hide your opinion. State it loud. Let the people hear you. Because you have really great ideas, and don't be afraid of the people in the room.
Yeah. That's great advice.
And be fierce as fuck.
You're gonna say something wild.
Always.
That's crazy. Are you on social media like TikTok, Instagram?
Only my dog's on TikTok.
Okay.
Under my name.
Okay.
And yes, I'm on Instagram.
Cool. So people can follow you there?
For sure. It's not that exciting, but yes.
It seems like a cool life to live, man. You run a pretty cool operations, and you're a pretty boss bitch. I'm cool to know. I'm just grateful to know you. I think I'm cooler to know you.
I think I'm cooler to know you.
Well, it's Hani wrapping it up. Thank you, folks. Thank you for joining me, Erica. I love you so much.
Love you too.
I appreciate you. Keep being a boss ass bitch. And I love you, man, always.
Love you too.